Hi, boys and girls. If you're watching this, it probably means we're having a snow day today. I hope you have time to go outside and play in the snow today, too. Let's read a story about snow. It's called the Mitten. You guys know you wear mittens on your hands whenever it's cold, and I have one of my friends from the story, Hedgie. He's even wearing a mask so he doesn't get sick. This is called The Mitten by Jan Brett. We've read some Jan Brett stories before, and so you'll remember that she has some picture clues on the sides about what's going to happen. So you can take a look at those. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, didn't want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, Maddie, you'll never find it. So she thought he wouldn't find his mitten because it would be the same color as the snow if it was white. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and so finally Baba made them. So there she is making the mittens. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. There it is right there. Can you see it? You can barely see it because it's white. Here's a picture clue about what might happen. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside of it. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. So there's the mole getting inside that mitten in there. Here's our next picture clue. I wonder what animal's coming along next. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was just then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw that rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Okay, so there they are. Now there's two animals in there, the rabbit and the mole. Here's our next picture clue. Does anybody know what that is? Give you a hint. It's my little friend here. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself up. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room for the hedgehog. So our next picture clue. Wonder what it could be next. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. So look, it's already very full and the mitten's getting bigger and bigger. Do you think the owl's going to be able to fit in there? See what's next. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw that badger's diggers, they gave him the thumb. What do we think might be coming next? Ooh, do you think there will be room, boys and girls? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in, and when the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave Mr. Fox lots of room. Ooh, here's our next picture clue. Do you think that will fit? Is the bear going to fit in the mitten? Let's see. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tight as they could be in that mitten. But what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size. but Baba's good knitting held fast. What do you think's coming next? Will there be room for a little mouse? Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than a little acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of that great bear's nose. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ah, 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 achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered all of the animals in all directions. So there they go. They all went flying everywhere. Look, after the bear sneezed and it went flying up, I wonder who's going to find it. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape off in the distance. It was the lost Mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he was still holding his snow-white mittens. Look at Baba looking at the mittens, friends. Her face looks confused. Do you think maybe she's thinking, why is one mitten so much bigger than the other? What do you think? Do you think that's what she's thinking? All right, boys and girls, I hope you liked the story about The Mitten by Jan Brett. And I hope that Hedgie says goodbye. And Hedgie and I hope that you get to go out and play in the snow and have fun today. And don't forget, if you go out, to wear your mittens to keep your hands warm. Bye, friends.